Work for 10 years, then retire. Here's how. If you Google how to retire early, you get 137 million results. One of those results is a book called The Simple Path to Wealth, which got me thinking, why haven't I heard about this before? So I read the book and there were three main things that stood out to me. It's not actually that simple, but it's definitely simple enough for anyone to follow if they just stick with it. And I think it deserves more attention than it gets because most people have no idea what to do when it comes to their finances. So here are the three main points from the book and how they can help you too. Point number 1, know your numbers. There are only 4 numbers you need to track according to J.L. Collins, the author of this book. Those 4 numbers are your age, how much you have invested, how much you make and how much you spend. Let's go in depth for each one. First is your age. This is probably the most important number because it shows how much time you have left until retirement. We lose time every day and we never get it back. Time is our most valuable asset when it comes to investing because the younger you start, the less you have to save and the longer your money has to grow. For example, let's say you're 20 years old and you want to retire at 65 like most Americans. Well, you have 45 years to save for retirement. If you start saving $50 a month at an 8% return, you will have around $1 million by the time you reach 65. But if you wait till you reach 30 to start saving $50 a month at an 8% return, you'll only have around $550,000 by the time you reach 65. That's almost $500,000 difference just from waiting 10 years. So if you're young, you should start investing now even if it's just small amounts. Don't wait. Point 2, how much you have invested. This is pretty straightforward. It's just your investment portfolio value. Number 3, how much you make. This is the income part. How much you earn from your job or business. Your income determines how fast you can reach your goals. If you make more money, you can save more money and invest more money, which means you can retire faster. On top of that, when you make more money, you have more opportunities available to you. You might not be able to buy a certain stock because it's too expensive. However, if you make more money, you could afford to buy that stock. The more money you make, the more options you have, and having more options gives you more flexibility. For example, let's say you make $50,000 a year and you want to buy $10,000 worth of stock. You would have to save for 2 years to buy that stock. But if you make $100,000 a year, you only need to save for 1 year to buy the same stock. You also have the option to buy twice as much stock in a year or save the same amount but buy 2 times as much stock over 2 years. You get the idea. More income means more flexibility and more opportunities. So it's important to find ways to increase your income so you can reach your financial goals faster. Last but not least, number 4, how much you spend. In order to retire early, you have to spend less than you earn. If you spend more than you earn, you'll eventually run out of money. So it's important to keep track of your spending so you don't accidentally spend too much. Most people have no idea how much they spend each month. They just look at their bank account and see how much they have and assume they can spend it all. But that's not the case. Point number 2, have a goal. If you don't have a goal, how are you supposed to hit a target? Set a goal for yourself. Think about how much money you want to have saved up and by when. Once you have a goal in mind, write it down. Make it official. Write it on your wall, put it on your mirror. Do whatever you have to do to remind yourself of your goal every day. If you want to retire early, you're going to have to save a lot of money. It's not going to be easy. Having a goal will keep you motivated and on track. If you want to know how much you should be saving, here's a good rule of thumb. Point number 3, live below your means. You've probably heard this advice before, but it's important to remember. Living below your means is essential for retiring early. If you want to retire early, you have to be willing to live a different lifestyle than most people. You can't spend all of your money as soon as you make it. You have to save a portion of your income and invest it. That way you can use that money to buy your freedom later on. Here are some tips for living below your means. First, track your spending. You won't be able to cut back if you don't know where your money is going. Use an app like Mint or Personal Capital to track your spending and categorize it. See where you can cut back and reduce your expenses. Second, negotiate your bills. Call your service providers and ask for a lower rate. Most of them are willing to negotiate, especially if you're a good customer. Third, shop around for insurance. You could be paying too much for car insurance, health insurance, etc. Shop around and compare rates to make sure you're getting the best deal. Fourth, avoid lifestyle inflation. This is the tendency to spend more money as you make more money. Avoid this trap by sticking to your budget and only spending on things that are important to you. Fifth, save for retirement. Even if you don't want to retire early, you should still be saving for retirement. The Social Security Administration recommends saving 15% of your pre-tax income for retirement. If you want to retire early, though, you should save more than that. Aim to save at least 20% of your income for retirement. Finally, invest your money. Don't keep all of your savings in a bank account where it's losing value to inflation. Invest it in stocks, bonds, or other assets that can grow in value over time. Keep in mind, the earlier you start, the less you have to save. The bottom line is that retiring early isn't as complicated as some people make it out to be. It's actually quite simple. Work for 10 years, then retire. How? By following the 3 steps we discussed today, you can retire early. It takes discipline and sacrifice, but it's worth it. The best part is that it's never too late to start. Even if you're 40 or 50 years old, you can still retire early. Just follow these steps and adjust your timeline accordingly. If you enjoyed this video, check out my channel where I cover personal finance and investing. Thanks for watching.